Black Girl Podcast. We got Bevy in the building. Episode Bevy. It's just gonna be Bevy. We don't even need the number. Okay, it's Bevy.
Period. Guys, we are so excited today because I don't think people realize who Bevy Smith is. So we're going to break it down a little bit because not only is she a soon-to-be New York Times bestselling author with her book, Bevelations, Lessons from a Mother, Auntie Bestie, and our Captain Lamb, because that's what she calls us, all her little lambs. The Bevy Smith is in the building. And y'all, she has been an architect of Black fashion for so long as a fashion queen. We all remember her from the Bravo show, but before that, she had like several careers in advertising, fashion advertising, Vibe, and then Rolling Stone. And then she's decided to jump out at 38 and say, I'm gonna be a television personality, and then has several shows because she actually did it right. And now she's giving us all the keys, the tools, and the love. And she is like that in real life. So we had to have her on because Dee and I both know Bevy just from being around in the industry. And every time we see her, it's like love. It's like she really is our actual auntie that we just never met at the family reunion. And
I just want to stop you down on that though, really quick. It's because every single young woman on this podcast is my little baby, is my lamb. I'm gonna just tell you this. I love all of the young women who are striving for these amazing, impactful careers. I respect y'all. I love to see y'all doing the damn thing. Every time y'all winning at something, you see, I be up in it like, yes, and clapping and all of it. Because I love y'all. And I never want to be the old bitter broad that's looking at y'all like, I'm not gonna be her. I'm gonna celebrate y'all. Because even though y'all are about to take all the jobs, I'm still going to celebrate y'all. Okay? And that's the truth.
And that's why.
That's amazing. That's super refreshing to hear. I mean, we can all agree because, girl.
Yes. Just about to say that.
Yeah.
I know, because a lot of the growns, they sad face because they see y'all coming up, y'all doing it. And they understand that we should be ascending so that we are making room for you guys to come in and take the place that we once had. It's okay. It's all about growth and movement for all of us. We should always be ascending at all times. We shouldn't be resting on our laurels and sitting around treading water and doing the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, really, if you're making a whole bunch of money doing it, and if that's what you can stomach, great. But in my book, Bevelations,
come on,
from my mother, Auntie Bestie, I tell you that I can't abide that kind of lifestyle.
Amen. What's refreshing to hear in that is not that you're just making room, and I think what some other people forget to remember in this is that it's supposed to be a little easier for us. The point isn't for you guys to go through what you went through, for us to go through the same thing. It's for us to get it and have it a little easier. And I think what happens in some industries and just with some people in general who have paved the way, they feel like you have to go through this same mud. You have to work twice as hard as they did. And don't get me wrong, I don't think anything should just be given. I do think there should be some work ethic and some structure in your life, but it shouldn't always have to be like, you got to go through what I went through to get what I got. And it's just really refreshing as a Black woman to be like, no, I did it so it could be just a tad bit easy for you, sis. Thank you.
That's what I want for you guys. Like, that's the reason, really, honestly, why I wrote the book, and I was so honest in the book, and especially of what I'm calling my fucks and fumbles, because I want you guys to know, like, be strategic about your love life as well as your career, and so, and I definitely want to say this, lay this word on my lambs: do not hustle and do not grind. Be strategic and take your rest when you need it.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time, please.
Do not hustle and do not grind. Be strategic and take your rest when you need it.
Now, I love that so much. That's for Team No Sleep, because Team No Sleep will literally make you feel like you're not doing enough because you decide to get 8 hours of rest. Right. But I will say, like, when did you realize, I want to ask, like, when did you realize, okay, I can do this strategically. I don't have to rise and grind every day, or just grind it out throughout, you know, get it out the mud, or whatever they're using now. Right. But I did want to know, when did that start to pick up for you? When did you realize that?
Okay, so let me just be very honest. I was not the girl that you girls are. I was not that girl. So you girls were like 14 years old with career goals, right?
Ooh, completely different career goals.
Oh, no, Bevy, let me tell you right now.
But still career goals. You girls were very, very on the track of success. I wanted to be an executive assistant, and I wanted to have a very fun life. Okay.
Yes.
So when I stumbled upon my career, I was still doing a whole bunch of shenanigans. And so my career was still, even though I was successful in my career was for me simply a way to attract the man that I wanted to have come into my life and take care of me. So my career initially was so that I was shiny enough to attract a shiny man. Ooh. So that he could take care of me. So I'm just saying, you girls are so far ahead of the game, because you girls know that you're going to go get it yourselves.
Okay.
Now, the only thing I will say about you girls that I do want to warn you of, because I like that you guys have your careers and y'all know y'all can do it on your own and all the things. I do want to caution, do not let the career consume your life so much that you forget to have fun. Because see, I don't get to write this book, Bevelations, Lessons from a Mother, Auntie, Bestie, if all I've been doing is working at my career. No, I was having a really good time. And as you guys know, I came up through the 90s.
Yes, I want to get into it.
The golden age of hip hop. So I'm having shenanigans with Puff and Big. And when I say shenanigans, that's just fun times. I'm not fucking these people.
Amen.
I'm having shenanigans with Puff and Biggie and Pac and any other big iconic star that you can think of from that era. You know, I'm going out for Soul Train Awards. The Source Awards is in New York City. You know, I'm going out to the boxing matches. I'm doing all the things. I'm literally probably the girls that you fabulous girls are like, because I had a career, but I was not in entertainment. And so you ladies are at these events working. And so y'all might have given me a side eye if you. So I want to say that too. Judge not, least thee be judged.
Come on.
Because don't look at your sisters that you see at these events that are not working, but they working it.
Right.
It could wind up being one of your best friends.
Or your boss.
Or your boss.
That is true. There
you go. So judge not, least thee be judged.
Saph, I was going to say, Saph wanted to talk to you about the 90s in New York. So I wanted to get into it because, well, first of all, we had a whole slew of questions for you.
Sorry,
I feel like you're preaching to us already.
No,
okay. Like that's like you've answered about 30 of the questions we had. That's what I got to say. And I love it. But Alysha and I had discussed that we saw you and of course, fell in love with you on Netflix's recent documentary, The Remix. Mm-hmm. So I'll actually let Alysha take this one. She had the perfect question for it, but I do want to get into the 90s. And after Alysha asked, I want to get into how you maneuvered your way from being that girl to that girl.
Right. So like Sapphira said, I watched the documentary. I actually had to do an interview with Misa, and then I saw you on there and you were talking about, at the time, actually backtrack, your title popped up and it said Fashion and Beauty Advertising Director at Vibe at the time. Amazing title for a Black woman to have at that time. And in that context of that segment, you were just talking about how you were told that you could never bring any high fashion, like the Gucci's and Chanel's of the world into advertising on Vibe. So my question for you is, how were you able to say, Can I curse Miss Bevy? Because I really got to say how I'm feeling. Okay. How are you able to be like, fuck y'all, I see the vision, I know what's up, and I'm gonna get it done with all the no's around you?
Going from that girl to that girl.
Right.
All the naysayers. Sap, I have to tell you, yeah, it was many, many things. But you know, one of the best things about working at Vibe, and I pray that you young ladies will have this experience in your career, where you go into a place that feels like home, where you walk into a corporate environment that pays you well, okay? Because we can all go into places, we can all go into media entities that feel like home, but it feels like home and we don't have no heat and hot water.
Okay.
That's not what I'm talking about. When I got to Vibe magazine, it was the golden era of hip hop, and we had a lot of money in the coffers. And then I proceeded to bring even more money into the coffers. So I was paid well, I traveled well, my expense account was all access. It was nuts. It was bananas. It was very much in line with my white counterparts at Vogue or GQ. Very much. We all stayed at the same hotels. We all flew business in the same flights.
Yes, God.
I had all the same discounts that the girls did, the white girls, and all the things.
Yes, God.
Yes, it was a good look. It was a good look. The heyday. So the way I was able to convince the European fashion advertising community that we were a viable audience is because I am from it and of it.
Mm.
Now, Scottie's mom and I know each other very well. We grew up together, same community.
Very much so.
Same block, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Sky's mom has always been fly, but she's always been in the entertainment business. And she's a little bit older than I am. And so we would all look up to her and be like, oh my God, she on the radio. She's so fabulous. And her mother was always amazing. Aww. Fly, but also biggest heart, kind, generous, all the things. So hashtag take a note. Tell your mama I said hi.
I know, I will. I'm going to tell her as soon as this is
Please let her know I gave her the proper shout out.
I will.
Okay. Because that was like, she was doing it in an era before I even thought about doing it, because your mom was doing it in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom was cracking in the 80s, okay? So it was really much, much harder. But so when I get to Vibe magazine and I decide that I'm going to crack the code on all this fashion advertising, I'm from a place called Harlem. And Harlem is a fly place. And Harlem has a legacy of flyness. So I don't really care what they say about our demographics, the research that they're spouting off to me. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you why this research is invalid. And I'm going to illustrate to you why you need to be a part of this.
Amen.
And that's just what I did. And I did it in really unique and creative ways. And at the time, guys, I really didn't even know I was being a creative. I thought that the way I was approaching the business was a very kind of, I knew it wasn't the average, but I didn't know it was actually kind of really a visionary and a maverick way of approaching it. Yeah. But it was really great. And the first big piece of business that I broke was Gucci. And it was Tom Ford's Gucci. And Tom Ford was interviewed in WWD magazine, and he said something like, you know, I'm making this collection for Whitney Houston if she's married to a rap star and they're traveling on a yacht in Ibiza. It's something like that. I'm just paraphrasing.
The luxury.
Yes. So when I saw that, though, I was like, okay, so he understands that Whitney can be married to a rapper that would actually be on the yacht in Ibiza. So he gets it. So he doesn't think that we're this downtrodden ghetto monolith. And so I created a whole kind of presentation based on the beautiful visuals that Emil Wilbekin, who at the time was the fashion director, he later went on to become the editor-in-chief of Vibe. He created all these beautiful visuals using Gucci in various shoots. And I compiled them, and then I sent them over to Gucci in a custom box. And I got a phone call from them, and they had me come in for a meeting. was so excited. And even just getting the meeting was a big deal. And then that's something I want to stop down on for a minute too, because I know you guys are all A-type girls and high achieving girls, but I want to just say this. Sometimes just getting in the door is the victory. So don't put so much pressure on yourself that everything has to be a home run. It doesn't. We have to savor our wins however we get them. So when I got into Gucci, because they would not even take calls from Vibe. So to get into Gucci in a meeting was huge. And I got that meeting, and I wish I could tell you I walked out with advertising, but I did not. But I had a good meeting. And that's what I want to say. You know, sometimes that's the start. The no is the beginning of the dance. And then we got to work, and then we got to twerk, okay? And then I worked and I twerked. And then the next season, that's when I broke the Gucci business. And that's when the floodgates kind of opened up.
It was a wrap from there. And that was all you.
I can't wait for the movie.
Too. I want Notori Norton to play me in the hip hop 90s era.
Ooh, I see it.
I love that.
I have, since we're on it, talking about Harlem, I did, my mom can speak hours upon hours about Harlem and what Harlem has done for her. But I would love to know how Harlem has influenced you in your Black womanhood.
Oh my gosh. Well, Harlem is the reason why I was able to enter into these very white spaces and as Roland Ray would say, feel nothing. It's nothing. Shout out to him. Make you like heal up real good.
Yes.
You don't like to see our friend all burned up like that.
No.
So shout out to Lil Roland Ray. Love you so much. Now this one, I wanted to read this what I said about Harlem Way.
Yes.
The thank yous of Harlem.
You better pull out the book and get it
book
from the page, okay?
The acknowledgements that I have is this. Thank you, Harlem, for giving me the confidence to withstand the judgmental worlds of fashion, advertising, and entertainment. In Harlem, I'm celebrated, not just tolerated. Uptown girl for life. Oh. And that's really what I feel about my community. My community has kept me, has held me, has always celebrated me. And so when I go into these spaces, I don't feel less than, and I don't feel like I need to ask them for approval. I remember when I was an 18-year-old receptionist at a fashion advertising agency, and we had really amazing accounts, including Brooke Shields was one of the clients. Brooke Shields had a jean line. It was back in the 80s when everybody had a designer jean line. And Brooke Shields had a designer jean line. And Brooke Shields and I are actually the same age. So when Brooke would come in with her mom to go over business, a lot of times Brooke would just hang out with me in the reception area. And she was an iconic supermodel even back then. She was like 18 years old, 19 years old. She was one of the biggest models in the world. And I would just chat with Brooke, and I would look at Brooke and I would acknowledge her beauty. But I would also know if Brooke walked down the street in Harlem, if she went up to Rucker, wouldn't nobody be paying her no mind?
Not at all.
I was the bee's knees at Rucker.
Yes.
And so, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so, and that's no tea, no shade to nobody.
Yeah.
But that's what Harlem gave me. It gave me that confidence to understand that just because something is white doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's better, none of it. So I was more than enough.
Speaking of confidence, you did mention that you had left your position in corporate America. Excuse me.
Is that me dinging? Wait, hold on.
That's me. It's my sister going crazy.
Okay, well, wait, hold on. I want to make sure I don't ding. Hold on.
Yes.
Okay, because I don't want to ding. Okay.
Here we go. Okay. So you had left your position in corporate America, and you had said, I wanted something that allowed me to be creative and gave me freedom. And you probably were ready to jump into it ASAP the next day, but it didn't pop off for you until 2 years later. Did you go through moments?
Well, it didn't pop off for me. I didn't get the I left Rolling Stone, and it took 7 years for me to get Bravo's Fashion Queens. 7.
Which was a fabulous show, by the way.
I'm sorry.
I loved
Oh,
I love that
thank you,
show.
baby.
Yeah.
I look forward to award season just so I can hear you guys speak about the fashions on the red carpet.
Yes.
That was my favorite.
Yes.
Have the best time.
But yes, but in those 7 years, was there shame? Was there embarrassment? Did you go into hiding? How did you maintain connections? What was your emotional state in knowing where you came from, not yet reaching where you wanted to go, but being present in what you didn't want at the moment? How did you reconcile that emotionally?
Okay, so first of all, I was so deliriously happy when I quit my job at Rolling Stone magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so confident that I was gonna quit and receive a TV show within like 6 months. And the craziest thing about it is that shit actually happened. Like I literally quit my job and then I did my Black version of Eat, Pray, Love. I went to South Africa, Zambia, I went to Brazil, and I went to Costa Rica. I was gone for like 3 months. I quit my job and like February 14th, Valentine's Day was my last day of Rolling Stone. And then I went traveling for like 3 months. So I came back around like April, May-ish, you know what I mean? And I was like ready to like conquer the world.
What was your title? I'm sorry. I'm just curious to know what your title was that you left at Rolling Stone.
Senior Director of Fashion Advertising, where I was the only Black person in management. And yeah.
And you still left. God bless you. Bless you.
Making in 2005 over $250,000 in 2005. So you already know how much money that was back then, because compared to now. Because right now we could make 250. Okay.
Right.
So anyway, so there I am. Quit the job, and I think I'm going to get a job instantly. And this is the part of the book called When Bevy Met Andy. And a friend of mine, because I told everyone, and this is something I want all of your listeners to take in. I told everyone what I wanted to do because I didn't know where the help would come from. And I'm so glad I did, because I told a man that I worked with, he was my peer. He wasn't even someone I was especially close to. I told him that I was quitting my job and I wanted to go into TV. And he wasn't even close to me. But in my spirit, and I still believe this to this day, you never know where your help is going to come from. You never know who your blessing is going to come from. So I know a lot of people feel like you got to keep it close, what you're trying to do, because people will take your idea, or people would. And what I know for sure is that most people can't even manifest their own ideas, much less take mine and make it work and make it work. Okay. So I told this man, Hunter Hill from Paper Magazine, what I wanted to do. He just happened to be on Fire Island with Andy Cohen when Andy was still just a TV executive. He was not on TV. He told him about me. And then Bravo called me for an audition. I went in and auditioned for the Tim Gunn Guide to Style show. And I got the gig. And then they sent me the contract. The contract was dismal and abysmal. And I was like, not so much. And then they would not negotiate with me because television does not negotiate. Now they say Americans do not negotiate with terrorists. Well, TV does not negotiate with people who have no experience in TV.
Period.
It's your first job on TV, and I know all of y'all know this because y'all all have worked in TV. If it's your first job in TV, they're probably going to try and fuck you over. And it's just the way it is. It's not even about it's not you. It's them. You could be the most amazing person in the world. They're going to still give you a really bad contract. But remember, I was good and grown, and I was a businesswoman. So I couldn't just take a bad contract, not in good conscience. So I declined the gig. And then Andy called me in and said, "You're amazing, even better than you were on tape. I know we're going to work together one day." And for 7 years, he tried to find something for us to work on. And in the 7th year, he found Fashion Queens, and ta-da. So the way I kept my spirits up while waiting for my big break on TV was because I was really happy doing what I was doing. And again, this is why I want to stop down, guys. I'm going to do a lot of these stop down moments because I know, Gia and Scottie's journey and I'm getting to know all the rest of you lovely young ladies, but I want to say this. Please run your own race. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's. And I know it's very hard to do that. Because you will see other people getting things that you feel like, that should be me. Why don't I have that opportunity? I would have slayed that shit. You know, you have all the feelings. And that's a mind fuck, because you can start to feel like maybe you're the problem. No. You're not the problem, baby. Everything is as it should be, and everything happens in its due time. So you have to wait. In the meantime, in between time, you have to also, we always talk about these gratitude journals, right? Every day you should write something in your gratitude journal. I actually do believe you should write something in your gratitude journal, because everybody got something to be fucking grateful for. So even though I was going to housing court and I had went from $350,000 a year to $35,000 a year, I still had a lot to be grateful for. Here's what I had to be grateful for. I had quit my job to pursue a career where I was a writer. I was writing for Essence, Glamour, Paper, Interview. As a matter of fact, I did the first ever Rihanna cover. Rihanna had never had a cover story before, and I wrote it for Paper Magazine. And it was for The Good Girl Gone Bad,
Down.
And that was a major moment. And so $500, but it was a major moment, and no one could ever take that away from me. And then on the TV front, I was doing all those list shows like The Fabulous Life of on E, and I was doing all the stuff on VH1 and BET and all these things. And I wasn't making no points doing it, because unlike you fabulous young ladies, I actually wasn't being paid for my beginner correspondence work. Y'all all getting checks.
No. But now listen. All right. We're gonna.
No. But we just said that y'all supposed to be doing better than I was. So okay, have at it.
No. We were no. We ain't get this little tease until just now. That's what I'm saying. We ain't get this.
Our generation is probably the last intern generation, so we kind of got a little bit of that. Like,
that's a good point.
A little. We start getting paid for gigs.
We experienced what she experienced.
No.
We since we are like the last of the actual intern generation,
right.
We got some type of grit.
Girl, it's like you. The places didn't change that much. That's all I got to say.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you, Bevy, because while we're talking about that mid time, which I think is so important, because so many people are in transitional phases right now and in the mid time. What I love about your mid time is that you were like, yeah, the most important brand I'm going to work for is myself. All this stuff is cute. Y'all are real cute. Yes, I'll come do your TV show, but you realize the importance of your brand. And I remember first moving to New York and seeing you at the Weed auditions and all these things and seeing you on TV. And then you had dinner with Bevy, which is one of the most exclusive dinner tables to be at, honey. You better recognize. Okay.
It really is.
So it was so great. And so I wanted to ask you, how did you bring that energy that you brought to get those $1 million contracts and those Gucci deals to yourself? What was that like when building your brand took more that same enthusiasm, that same level, and how did you execute it for brand Bevy?
Well, first of all, you have to remember something, that when I quit my job in 2005, there was no such thing as personal brands. So I didn't even know that I was building a personal brand, child. Like, I mean, what? Right. Brands were Kellogg's and Apple,
Wheaties,
Nike. It wasn't people weren't brands at that point.
Wow.
But what I did realize when I started doing Dinner with Bevy, and Dinner with Bevy came about because I was broke. I had run out of money, and I went to an amazing Hugo Boss dinner at Nobu on 57th Street. And I remember I still had all my garments. I had all the furs, I had all the bags, I had all the shoes, I had all the garments. But I had no coins. Okay. So I could show up looking like, yes, bitch. But in my pocket, I was like, no, bitch.
I need a comedy special. Serious.
Right. So I was like, okay. So there I was at the Hugo Boss dinner. And what I realized at that dinner is that everyone else at the dinner was affiliated with a magazine or with a fashion house or something like that. They all had, they are X, Y, and Z from ... And I was just Bevy Smith. And I realized that they still wanted me in the space. And then that's when I realized that I was still valuable because people fucked with me for me.
Yes, Lord.
Not for Vibe, not for Rolling Stone, but for me. And that was like the epiphany. That was the aha moment. You know, that was all those things. And so when I'm leaving very drunk and I'm trying to debate whether or not I take a taxi home, because I'm like, I don't know if I can really afford to take a taxi home. I might run out of money. Because again, this is before taxis took credit cards. This is like, I'm talking about ancient history. Y'all are like, what are you talking about, ma'am? No, taxis,
We recall.
We are in our 30s.
30.
once upon a time, guys, couldn't take credit cards. Okay. There was no such thing as Uber.
Not you.
There was no
Uber now.
There was no So I'm like, child, I got on this fur and I got on these high heels. I got these titties out. It's midnight. Do I really get on the subway? Like, that don't seem right.
Right.
Then I'm like, but do I really have enough cash to pay for this damn taxi? And do I risk like doing what the cab drivers think everyone that goes to Harlem does, which is like jump out midway and like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what do I do? So I get in the taxi. No, before I get in the taxi, I'm walking out of Noble. I'm drunk because y'all already know. Y'all all know that. Does everyone on this call, everyone's experienced Noble, yes?
Yes.
I miss outside.
Have it, then we're going on Bevy.
Yes, we are either way.
I mean, either way, I'm gonna say no just so you can take us.
Okay. So
No.
Me and my lambs, we're all going to Noble on Auntie Bevy.
Yay.
Okay. And cute. I want to do that actually really soon. We have to figure out which day is warm enough for us to eat outside and do all the things.
Yes.
We're going to Noble. Okay, so we're going to Noble. But this particular night at Noble, I'm drunk, I'm leaving, and someone calls my name, and it's Omarion. And I had shot Omarion when I was at Vibe. I went back to Vibe as a fashion editor at large. So I was first originally on the publishing side, which is where the money resides. And I went over to the creative side, the editorial side, which is not where the money resides, but that's where the creativity resides. So, you know, I had the best of both worlds. But when I shot Omarion, it was when he had just left B2K. And I had put him in a Dolce & Gabbana suit. He loved it so much. And it was his birthday. And he was like, can you see if they'll let me wear my suit to my birthday dinner? And I was like, sure. I called them. They said yes. And I went to his birthday event. And that's the first time I ever saw Chris Brown. And Omarion and Chris Brown had a fucking dance off. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And of course, no one knew the people in the game knew who Chris Brown was. But I was like a grown-ass woman. I just was like, who's this cute little boy that's doing all these flips and jumping over everybody's head and flying through the air? You know what? Of course, I went on to do a dinner party for Chris Brown for his 18th birthday, as a matter of fact. But anyway, I was like having the best time. And I said to Omarion, I said, baby, I was just at this fabulous dinner. You should have been there. And then I realized there's no way Omarion gets to go to a dinner with GQ and with Hugo Boss and with Vuitton and all these other brands, unless someone like me takes them in the room, because I have the clout in which to bridge worlds.
Yes.
And that's how I created Dinner with Bevy. So that's what being broke gave me. It made me an accidental entrepreneur. So how could I ever hate that part of my life?
Amen. You got to honor that. I have a question about that, because that part of life in anybody's journey is so important. It's also the part that people miss once they actually get the bag. They miss that drive, that juice, that energy that you have in that moment. So I related to that portion of your journey, because I know my own experiences when we all used to work at Hot 97. When I worked at Hot 97, I actually took a side job working at Fridays in Penn Station, and I hated the fact that I was serving and then going to Hot 97, where everybody thought I was a millionaire because I did video for some celebrities. So I really related to you in that instance. But for me, it was really like holding me down and out, making me feel like, you know, I was an imposter in some instances. But for you, it seemed like you owned that. And I know that you just explained that experience, but what was it about your self-esteem, your self-confidence that made you say, no, I know I belong here. I know that this is just a moment in time. Like, what was the click for you? I think that's so important to talk about.
Well, during that time, it was like Mary J. Blige, everything gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be okay. This is a testimony, Mary story. Trouble don't last always. I used to play that song. And I used to be like, yep, trouble don't last always. And, you know, I just knew, well, first of all, I'll tell you this. You should this is a Bevelation. Let your prior successes fuel your future success. So I had already navigated the lily white, skinny, young, white, skinny world of fashion. And I had done it in spectacular fashion. And I made them bend to my will. So I understood that if I could do that, certainly I could do this.
Right.
So I want you girls to look at what you've done in your life that has felt insurmountable, because all of you have already accomplished a lot of things that, as we will all just own it and say, because this is not boasting, this is just the truth. There are people that look at you guys and are like, I wish.
This is true.
Oh my God.
That's true.
Look at them. Yeah, as well they should. You've all had amazing successes. You all have had wins that other people envy. So step into that and understand that. And that's why when I told you to run your own race and don't look at someone else's trajectory, because, you know, comparison is the thief of joy.
Of joy. Yes, that is my line. I love that one.
It really is, but we have to step in it. Because even me at 54, there are times when sometimes I get that little, like I see something, I'll be like, why didn't they call me for that?
Yeah.
But then I have to remember, everything is as it should be, bitch. You can't get everything. The only person that can get everything is J-Lo.
For real. And that is a point.
And that's on everything.
Let's get loud. Mary had a little lamb.
Is anyone on this call a Leo?
Alysha,
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah.
Alysha, you're a Leo?
I'm scared, but yes.
Oh, no, Angel, don't be scared. They need to be scared of you.
Okay. Just as long as y'all know.
I'm going to need you to tap into your superpowers, because Leo women are beasts. I'm going to give you 3 examples of women that people have counted out and have still to this day have negative things to say about their talent, but yet they steadily win in very major ways. Okay. We mentioned J-Lo. So when J-Lo came on that screen yesterday, I said, yes, J-Lo, you better stand up there and you better sing, girl. Because I'm in awe of the fact that J-Lo will go anywhere and sing.
Okay.
Love that.
Okay. And show up looking good.
Yeah, but more importantly than her looking good, J-Lo will stand up and sing it anywhere.
Yeah.
You're not going to punk J-Lo about her vocal talent.
This is a fact.
You're not going to test her and you're not going to punk her. Okay? So that's amazing.
You can't tell her that she's not right.
That's what I'm supposed. It's the audacity. Like, I love it.
It's straight up the audacity.
And it's also very go large or go home.
But it's valid. The audacity is valid.
This is true.
Because at this point, she's sung at every major thing that there's to sing at. Oscars, Super Bowl, inaugurations. Traditionally, we've had Aretha Louise Franklin sing at inaugurations.
Okay.
Now we had Jennifer Lopez. Okay.
Yeah.
So that really tells you she's a bad bitch. Another person that people like to say, She ain't all that. Her talent is not all that. She can't really sing. She's not the best dancer. Madonna. Man. Madonna's a Leo.
What's her birthday?
I want you to do some research on the early days of Madonna. White girl from Detroit, comes to New York City.
I don't remember.
Tries to come into the Black and Puerto Rican culture.
Mm-hmm.
And that she's going to make this kind of dance music that is really our music. And she's like, I'm going to do it. And she's dating Jean-Michel Basquiat. And she's like, you've got a drug habit, baby. I can't have you bringing me down. He's still, and the moment she's dating him, he's Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, baby, you're going to bring me down. I got to get out of this situation. It's like, the audacity.
Right.
Yeah. Said, the audacity.
A lot of audacity.
But, and Madge refuses to stop, can't stop, won't stop. You know, she does big dramatic roles. She does anything that she deems herself to be able to do. Okay. Mm-hmm. Last but certainly not least is Halle Berry.
What's her?
I'm trying to talk so bad about her. And Halle Berry continues. She just got one of the biggest deals that they gave out on Netflix for a new movie.
So did.
That she produced and I believe she directed. But anyway, the point is this: a Leo woman, you can do anything. Resolute in the fact that you can do anything. Go forth and dare to dream very big. I talk about that's in my book. I outline how I'm going to become an EGOT. I'm going to win an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. And I am very bold in that statement. Okay?
Amen.
I'm Leo, baby, to be that bold. So tell me some outrageous thing that you're going to do.
Alysha.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot because you know what? This is a vision board.
Yeah.
Every time you do a podcast, it is a vision board because you are speaking it out into the universe. And it's going out to hundreds of thousands of people. And one day it will go out to millions of people. So guess what's going to happen? That energy is going to feed you. So do tell us, what's the goal, my love? What are you? What's the big vision board moment?
Stop the pressure. You know what? I just really started dreaming big again. So the reason my heart is racing is because I'm actually going to say it out loud for the first time in years. Okay. So I would say the biggest dream that I have right now is to direct and win an Oscar for a film, something that I direct and star in.
Oh!
And do some form of dancing in it. That is like, that is the biggest dream. Like that, if that happens.
It's bold. It's everything a fucking dream should be. Sometimes a dream too small. A dream can't be, I want to be a panelist on the TV show. Bitch, I ain't no goal for you. You could do that tomorrow.
Nope. And I see myself, I've always had this vision though. I've had this vision for at least 10 to 15 years. I see myself on the stage giving a specific speech that I have in my notes right now, thanking specific people and specific journeys that I've had, that I've been on, and saying, I knew that I would be here. That is the biggest dream. That's the one that is like repetitive. So I really received that. And thank you. I don't know if you knew that I needed that pouring into today, but I really truly received that. I do.
I'm so glad, baby. I'm so glad that you were bold enough to say it. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you this, my steps are ordered. The reason why I wrote this book, honestly and truly, is because God wants me to move into my next journey. He wants me to move into my purpose. And I'm a mentor, I'm a guide, and I am a teacher. And what I want you guys to know is this. I'm going to have a fairy godmother TV show where I do the work that I've been doing, which is connecting the dots, helping people clear the clutter out of their lives so that they can dare to dream and all that kind of work. I'm going to do a show like that. And what I want to say is that I want all of you fabulous young ladies to come on the show when I'm dealing with young women who will not receive it from me. And I want you guys to be my prime example of young women who are bold and audacious in what they want and tenacious about going after it. And that's the reason why I admire you guys so much. So we're gonna all put that out into the universe.
Yes.
I'm getting a Fairy Godmother show.
Amen.
Oh, yes, we're doing it.
On there as coaches. Okay.
Amen.
Touch and agree. Let's touch and agree on this Zoom. Okay.
That
Oh my
is-
gosh. I love it.
That's what we're doing around here.
Right.
Around these parts.
There's not enough
That's
Come back.
awesome.
Can you come back? We need you to come back. It's
I'll be
already
back.
7:55.
I'm gagging over it. But wait, so how can we tell the people to buy Bevelations lessons from a mother, auntie, Bev?
Oh, please.
You
Y'all
can
better get this
tell
book.
here.
Everybody
mean,
get to
the-
ask one question though.
Yes.
Yes, right? Everybody got to ask a question.
Mhm,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if anyone wants to ask something else,
I just want to ask about the book.
Yeah, go ahead, Deani, go ahead.
One thing I just wanted to ask, what was the most challenging thing about writing a book, or what was the most challenging part of the book for you?
well, when I got the last edits back of the book, it was at the beginning of the global pandemic. I got sick. I think New York City closed down March 13th. I actually started feeling sick on March 13th. So I had COVID. And then I got well the first week of April. And my dad passed away from complications of COVID on April 11th. And so that means that like I have edits I have to do, but now I have to call my publisher and I'm like, yeah, well, my dad died.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need to do a whole chapter devoted to my daddy because he was epic and amazing. I want to say his name, Gus Lee Smith, because every time I say his name, he hears it and he knows that he's never forgotten.
Amen.
Gus Lee Smith. And so that was crazy. And then George Floyd gets killed, and so then I have to put in a chapter about the racial unrest in this country, and you know, it's just bonkers. It was just kind of crazy. Then when I was doing the audio book, I had a breast cancer scare. So I'm like doing the audio book, and there's like, I'm like in my head, like, will a bitch be like going through chemo when she's doing the book tour? You know what I mean? Like, it was just like many things. But what it taught me, young ladies, is this. Is that I am built of strong stuff.
Mm.
And that I will make a way out of no way. And that even though I'm very, very strong, I'm also the type of person who can ask for help and will receive help. And I want you guys to know that too. And one of the parts of the book that we didn't get a chance to really touch on is that I want all of you to make sure that you're showing up as your most vulnerable selves. I talk about in the book, who are you at your core? And I'm Little Brown Bevy, and for so many years, Little Brown Bevy was piled on by, you know, Big Bev from Uptown, Beverly Smith, the fashion executive, all these different personas that I used, that I created to protect myself from harm or what I felt was harm. And what I didn't really realize is that Little Brown Bevy was the best part of me. And she needed to be seen, and she needed to be heard. And she was the one who's really going to lead me to the really good life that the dream life that I wanted. And so what I would like to say to all of you beautiful young ladies, because you're working in a business that is full of vipers and snakes, and I know oftentimes you don't know who you can trust. And I know oftentimes you're feeling very alone, even though you guys have a squad. But what I will tell you is this: you will get nothing out of it if you hide who you truly are. Make sure that you're tapping into the original little girl who wanted to be in entertainment, who wanted to do this work. And try to enter rooms, especially rooms when they're thinking about giving you a job. Try to enter rooms with that spirit. That spirit is the one that will make you far more interesting, and that will humanize you. I know for myself, when I go into the room with Little Brown Bevy, oh, people love me even more. And they see that I'm so much more than just a fashion girl or a pop culture girl. So that's what I want to give you to you guys. So please make sure that you're nurturing that core spirit of yours, and you do not let this industry harden you, because it won't end well. Because the best part of you is the soft part of you.
Oh, Lord.
It's the little girl who dreamed of all of this.
That resonates so well with like the last conversation we had about being true to that, our childhood self and our original dreams, you know, not letting Aunt Bevy, thank you.
Look, see,
I just want you to tell us where and tell the listeners.
Wait,
before we
do that, do that, because I want to make sure Bexx was saying, and before we got on the call, that she wondered if you felt like you received your flowers, and I just want you to know, like on behalf of us and other people, I mean, everybody jump in here because flowers, and you gonna have to wait for these flowers, Auntie Bevy. Look, there's nobody that actually comes into our lives and says, I'm going to help you, and here's the moment, and I'm going to bring it to you and give it to you because I did it and I'm still doing it. You're the person that shows up and shows out and shines in ways that we can aspire to from before, but also we can log onto your Instagram now and still see you shining. So on days when we do feel like giving up, we know that there's people like you who are actually consistently doing it and showing us that not only is it possible, I want you to continue to shine. I'm moving up so y'all can move here. So thank you for being so open. Thank you for sharing your heart. And thank you for giving us a literal manual, but also being there in the meantime. Like, we love you, and God is using you in such incredible ways. Like when you preach, I can't even say it all, but just know that we appreciate you and we love you so much. Little brown Bevy, uptown Bevy, every Bevy, we see you, we love you, and we honor you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, baby. Thank you so much.
Truly. Like, you were the architect for personal brand. When you said that, you know, I literally, before you said that, I said, well, actually, she was the one who came up with the personal brand. And that is exactly what I'm trying to tailor my life as, you know, being that brand, working with different people, but knowing this is all about me. This is all about me. So I literally have been walking in your footsteps for a very long time. You have literally been one of my very big inspirations for me to actually thrive, you know, as the Black girl, little girl that I am, like, in this industry. So I just want to say thank you to you and Harlem, because I know without Harlem, there is no you, you know? So I am very, very, very big on you, Bevy. I talk about you, speak power behind your name as many times as I can. I didn't hesitate when, you know, Gia brought this up with talking to you. I was like, absolutely. Yes, I want to talk to them, because every time we speak, it is something that's so empowering that I can take with myself for so long. I can use this for years. I can use this for generations. I can pass this on to my kids' so that they can, you know, do greater than me, do better than me. So I am so happy to be talking to you. Thank you so much for everything that you did and everything you had to sacrifice. So that's it. I just want to say thank you. And I honestly want to apologize, probably to myself, for not talking to you more, because I've always been scared. You know, I don't like asking for help, nor did I like asking for wisdom, because I feel like I have to learn everything the hard way. So I don't ask for any advice or anything, because I don't want to bother anybody, and I don't want anybody to say, girl, learn your own way, you know? So I run to my mama every 5 seconds.
No, but I will tell you this. Because what you just said is valid, right? You have to do the work. But once you've begun doing the work and you have like proof of concept, then you should be able to ask people, now where do I go from here?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's a very different thing when someone hasn't even tried to do anything and they're saying, what should I do? And they want to come to you for every single step. That's not your story. That's none of your story. So I want to just say, and Gia and Scott, you guys have my number, I hope, by this time. You should.
I have to check.
Then you'll email my publicist, whoever the hell set this up. I think it was my publicist. Mm-hmm. And get my phone number. And I want every single one of you to know, literally for real, no BS except Bevy Smith.
I stand it.
That you can call me and ask me, and I want you guys to do this really, especially. when you're getting these TV contracts, because you're going to get these TV contracts, please call me and say, Auntie Bevy, what you think?
Yeah.
Because far too long, we are operating, we're negotiating in the dark. And even when you have an agent, your agent is oftentimes playing two ends against the middle.
Yes, Lord.
So you need advice from people that have no skin in the game and just want to see you fucking win.
Amen.
Okay? So, you know, and then of course we're going to have our fabulous Noble dinner.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna, one of my horrible things is I never check the weather. So you guys are going to check the weather and you're going to find out what the 50-degree day is that's coming up sometime soon.
Yeah.
And we'll do a fabulous dinner at Noble, but we're going to be like,
Donna.
Oh, ass.
Yeah, my
camera.
Bevy.
Love it.
Gotta
It's
get
the
these inches.
It's
it's
the
a little bit of fake here. You just need, I want us to come, like, it's a spirit of this. Yeah. It's that spirit. You don't need to hear no bullshit. Like, just come with that spirit, though.
Okay.
Heard you, sis. Heard you. Heard
It's
you.
the zest for life. It's the commanding of a room. It's also how for like 3 years, my very early years in corporate, how everybody was whispering about the Dinner with Bevy series, and I just could not get my ass on a list. But as we're still giving flowers, it's really the zest for life. I was telling the girls, and this could be now our story. I remember the last Essence Fest that we were all able to attend. You were so full of joy and love, and you could tell that, first of all, if I didn't know who you were and that you were in Bevy Smith, I would have thought you were Oprah and it was your party. Because the way you just commanded the room, and that's always been like that has been you. And I guess I'll speak for myself, but also all of us, we've come up in this industry and seeing a Black woman like you, who we could aspire to eventually be once we became in the executive roles that we're now coming into. I think that has been the most refreshing and like best thing to hold on to, because we haven't had great experiences with Black women in this industry. So honestly, to be able to be at this point and you still are accepting us as your lambs, your nieces, Aunt Bev, girl, you get all the flowers.
No, seriously.
Get all of them.
All of them.
Thank you so much.
Seriously. And thank you for seeing us.
Yes.
Even without even needing to fully know us, just understanding the potential of us.
Yes.
And pouring into that. That's very important. And like everybody has said here, it is not often that someone says, take my number and please call me. I've never received that. And we've had a lot of people in our space, child, a lot that could easily be like, take my number and call me when you really need me. It's the first time in my, 10 years, actually 10 years. This year will be 10 years of me jumping into this career. So thank you for being the first in my life.
Well, and I mean it too.
I believe you. Just don't get mad when I start texting you.
But now you got to know, I give it to you straight now.
Yes, I know. I gotta be ready.
That's what I love most.
Gotta be ready. Yeah.
But even Bevy, even in this spirit of you giving so much to us, and I'm saying this because I know my voice is gonna start shaking, because you've made this a comfortable space, but your power of who you are is just so grand that I cannot become comfortable around you because of the power that you have, the power that you hold, the power that you have given and willingly give to other people. So I'm shaking as I'm saying this, but it is this abundance of power that you hold that is just leaves me in awe. And just to piggyback off of what Sapphira has said about you are the spirit of, you literally are the spirit of why the fuck not. And I bow down to you for that energy, because child, if there's ever a time that I doubt myself as to why me, why am I doing this? I can't do this. And then by chance I'm scrolling through and I see you on the socials. Hell yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Bevy do it. I know I can do it. It's another Black woman in the space, the place that I know I can occupy. I know it's meant for me. So thank you so much for holding on to that power, curating that power, and just being that Black woman for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
Bexx.
much.
And yes, the fuck you can do it.
Yes.
Why the fuck not?
Energy.
Yeah, no, because real talk, all of y'all are so powerful, and this is a really important space for me to be in because I love the auntie space, and I don't like the auntie space where people are old, because what then you my contemporary, and we can fuck the same guy. I'm not.
Fuck yo-ish. Okay.
Okay. So when 40-year-old women and all of that, I'm not for it. But you little lambs, I love it. I love it. I adore it. I embrace it. My one little biological niece, she does not like it.
I know she would.
She's the one who gets all the fancy trips. So,
Yeah.
Y'all just get on the Nobu. She gets to go to and Bali and shit. So, she can't hate on y'all.
Yeah. We hate.
Thank you so much for being with us. Everyone, please hold up your Bevelations if you have it by you.
Wait, I don't have it with me. I'm not.
Bevelations is in stores right now. Please make sure that you go wherever you get your books. That Amazon has it, Barnes and Nobles has it. Everybody has
Audible,
Kindle. Please make sure you go get Bevy Smith, especially so many media girls listen to us, so many dreamers. If you have a dream and you need a guide on how to get it for yourself and how to step into your power, Bevelations is
Step
that.
into this book. Step into this book.
Poor Auntie Bevy. It's at Bevy Smith on all things, honey. She's everywhere. So please support, love her. We love you.
Look at his body, though.
Okay.
Body, yaddy, 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 yaddy.
We gotta have you back because the body is a whole
episode
within itself. And at this point, we have anointed you. I'm just saying, fairy godmother of this podcast.
I love it.
I love it. So that means when I come back with my fairy godmother show to promote the fairy godmother show, which you guys are going to be coaches on. Okay.
Yeah.
It works. You see that? You see that?
Work for me.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, but seriously, find a 50-degree day.
Okay.
And then let's do Noble.
Okay.
All Auntie Bevy and I will not restrict the cocktails. I did with a $1,500 bill, but you guys are worth it.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bevy.
Bye, babies.
See you
Bye.
later.
Bye.
Oh my God.
I love her so.
That was amazing.
I can
cry like 3 times.
I almost cried. It was almost over.